A few years back, my buddies and I decided to go camping in a remote part of the Appalachian Mountains. We were all experienced hikers, so we didn't think twice about setting up camp miles from civilization. The first night was great. Clear skies, a roaring fire, and the kind of camaraderie you can only find in the middle of nowhere. On the second night, we decided to venture deeper into the forest. We found a clearing next to a small stream and set up our tents. As the sun set, the forest around us fell eerily silent. The usual nighttime chorus of crickets and frogs was absent, replaced by an unsettling stillness. Around midnight, I woke up to the sound of rustling outside my tent. Thinking it was one of my friends, I called out, but there was no response. The rustling continued, growing louder and more frantic. I unzipped my tent and peered out, expecting to see one of the guys messing around. Instead, I saw something else. At the edge of the clearing, illuminated by the faint glow of our dying campfire, was a figure. It stood unnaturally tall and thin, its limbs elongated and awkward. It was hard to make out any details in the dim light, but its eyes, they glowed an unsettling yellow. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. Before I could react, the figure moved, gliding silently towards the stream. It didn't walk so much as it floated, its feet never touching the ground. As it reached the water, it vanished, melting into the shadows like it had never been there at all. I rushed to wake my friends, but by the time they groggily emerged from their tents, the figure was gone. They chalked it up to a vivid nightmare or a trick of the light, but I knew what I saw. We spent the rest of the night huddled around the fire, too scared to sleep. The next morning, we packed up and hiked back to our cars as quickly as we could. We never spoke about the figure again, but every now and then, when I close my eyes, I can still see those glowing yellow eyes staring back at me from the darkness. We never went back to that part of the mountains. Something about it felt wrong, like the forest was watching us, waiting for us to return. And I have no intention of ever finding out what would happen if we did.